Today, I'm going to introduce you to one of the most revolutionary entrepreneurial tools in the 21st century. You are going to see that in a moment. So, I have created this skill to cash system to help professionals and business owners to transform their skills into sustainable cash flow. Let me give you a few examples. This is Adeyinka Taufik Tomitokbe, the Topsy Cut brand. This gentleman runs a 2-day barbing masterclass for $500,000 each, and his classes are oversubscribed every time he runs it. This is Onyinyechi Obonna. She runs 200K class to teach people how to exchange naira to the Chinese currency. Can you imagine that? And her class gets filled teaching people how to exchange naira to the yuan. And then this is Adejoke Lasisi. She does 20,000 naira 3-day low ticket class. And what does she teach? How to access funding and how to access global opportunities. And what do you say about Adejoke Lasisi too, who runs another high ticket class of $5,000? What does she teach? Recycling business, turning your trash into cash. And she books $5,000 teaching this knowledge, teaching her passion. How about this very famous young lady, Vicky James? She does a fashion master class for 2-3 days and she charges $1 million. And she has a large waiting list. This is in an economy where everyone is complaining that there is no opportunity. What do you say about Hilda? What do you say about this woman? She once did a cookathon that generated so much social media visibility, so much global visibility. I think, if I remember correctly, she probably won the Guinness Book of Record. And then riding on top of that visibility, she started running cooking classes, turning her talent, her skill, into incredible millions. The very first one she did, she made a whopping 187 million from one class. She continues to run it. And she said as of late last year that she was on her way to netting 2 billion. Did you hear the number? 2 billion naira from just cooking skills and teaching people. It's not even face to face. She does it online. Goodness gracious me, why not you? Why not you? Why do you sit on the couch and complain all day about the economy, about the way the world is going, about currency exchange problems, why not you? That is what we are talking about today. So today, I'm going to cover 2 secrets in this presentation, in this workshop. 3 secrets. So the first one, you're going to learn about the skills to cash system. So it's a formula that allows you, if you're a small business owner or you're a professional who has a side hustle, to convert your expertise into consistent cash flow like these people did. Can you imagine 2 billion naira in 1 year? Just teaching skills, converting the skills and expertise to cash flow. Can you imagine that? Can Hilda ever complain about cash flow ever again? Okay, you will learn the secret number 2, how to implement it. So you will learn about it. You will also learn how to implement it in your business and in your personal income acceleration so that you will get maximum impact. And then the secret number 3, you will learn to master the art of value creation, because making money is all about value, being able to create value, to deliver value, to capture value. That is all it's about. You might have all the skills and all the talent in the world, but if you don't know how to put it into motion by converting it to something that customers, that clients regard as value, something that will motivate them to give you money for, you are not going to earn any income from that. So, what is skills to cash? This is the ultimate entrepreneurial tool of the 21st century. And why is it? Why should you pay attention to the skills to cash system that I'm about to teach you? Because this century, the world we're living in today, is defined by innovation. That is a world where a 17-year-old can just wake up, create one app, or do something online, or go viral. And then in one day, that 17-year-old in one day makes $100,000. That is the century that we're living in. Okay? So it's defined by innovation, and the most successful entrepreneurs are those who can monetize their skills. And then every day you go to TikTok, you go to YouTube, and find people doing amazing things. The other day we heard about a Nigerian pastor who has netted 7.5 billion. Jerry Eze, some of you heard about him, 7.5 billion, because he does online YouTube sessions every day. So it's no longer a world defined by the traditional ways of making money. And I want you to take note of what I just said. The traditional ways of making money in this century and in the world we're living in right now. It's a world for those who can monetize their skills, who can monetize their passions. It's a world built for people who can monetize their skills. This is why the skills to cash system that I'm going to teach you is such a powerful thing that you should leave everything else you are doing and concentrate and learn it. Start implementing it today, and you'll be amazed at the results. Okay, so it empowers small business owners and professionals to leverage unique talents, skills, and passions into sustainable, consistent income. One of the biggest challenges that many individuals and business owners have is inconsistent income. I hate inconsistent income with a passion because of what it did to me, because of the financial challenges and problems that not having consistent income really dealt with me. Okay, so the skills to cash system is a blueprint. It's a trusted, as you're going to see, it's very intuitive, is very obvious, is very trusted, and then you can look around you. Like I just showed you a couple of all these amazing examples of people who turned their skills into literally billions and doing nothing else. So it's a blueprint for financial independence to allow you to work for who you want, work with who you want, work where, when you want, without somebody having to put a cap or ceiling on your earning. I just think it's so disrespectful. I just think that salary is such a disrespectful thing. It's good if you're starting out and then you say, okay, you're going to work for 5 years, going to work for 10 years or something, but where you have to depend on a human being to pay you not for 10 years, but for 20, 30, 40, 50 years of your life before you can make income. That is so disrespectful to your identity, to the potential that you represent. So that's why this blueprint is going to do a lot for you. Generally, there are 3 steps to financial fitness. Only 3 steps. The very first one is you have to assess truthfully what your financial health status is. A lot of people are faking things. A lot of people are flexing. The flex culture that is all over the place on social media. And people are flexing, but they are not financially healthy. But they go around telling neighbors or showing off fake wealth. So the very first step to financial fitness, just like in medical fitness, the doctor has to first of all take measurements of your vitals. They check your blood pressure, they check your lipid level, they check your full blood count, they check all these things, because these are the things that give the indication of what your current financial health status is. Why? Because if you don't know what your current health status is, it will be difficult um, to start prescribing, to start strategizing to bring you back to health. It's exactly the same thing with your money. But a lot of people don't even know their net worth. A lot of people can't tell you offhand what their financial health status is. So the first thing is to assess, where do you stand? Where do things really stand right now? If you run into an emergency now, do you have an emergency fund that can deal with it? If you stop your current sources of income, stop all of a sudden, you lose your job or something happens, how long are you going to last in your current lifestyle without having to go destitute? So you have to tell yourself the truth, because all transformation begins with truth telling. Then the next thing is to determine what does success mean to you? What's your ideal lifestyle? What does success mean to you? So this is where you are right now. This is where you want to be. And then the third thing is to find a system. Don't just be the kind of person that, okay, someone says today, all right, the best thing in town is Forex trading. You jump there. They wake up the next day and then tell you, oh, there is this multi-level marketing. Oh, they pay fantastically. You just bring two people who bring two people who bring another two people, and then you can do $10,000 every week. And then you jump into that one. The next day, somebody says to you, oh, cocoa is amazing. If you can only export cocoa, if you can only ship things to America, ship food stuff that Africans are living, then you jump into that one. You are not following a system. You need a system. So what we are doing today is introducing you to this system called Skills to Cash. Now, my 84-year-old mentor told me that no one can become rich except another person shows him or her. No one. Very wise man. He is very wealthy himself. He's retired a long time ago. It's just good. And so that actually got me thinking, that the best way to help my clients and people who I coach, group coaching, one-on-one coaching, is to help them to build systems. Systems are a key word. And we learned that from God the Creator, because what God did was create systems. And I've told people in recent times, my one-on-one coaching clients, stop building business, stop building systems. When God created the world, He created them as systems. And that's why He's never had to wake up in the morning and create more cows or create more trees. Why? Because He created systems. So the system regenerates itself. He's never had to create another human being after Adam and Eve. Never created another. But the system He put in place perpetuates human beings and multiplies. That's exactly the same way you build wealth. You create systems that will continue to work. But many of us are just ad hoc. Our business is ad hoc. If something happens to us today, key man risk, that's the end of that business. See what happened to the great MKO Abiola? Built such a multi-billion, as of that, $1 billion enterprise. The moment he died, everything died with him. We don't hear about that empire again. Why? No systems. All right, so pay attention to the Skills to Cash system. There's a formula in this system. And this is where I want you to begin to pay more serious attention. So this Skills to Cash formula basically says that cash flow equals your skills times your value proposition, okay, plus market demand, plus visibility, plus action consistency. Whoa, I feel like screaming. I just hope that you grab this insight, because if this is all you grab from this session, that's more than enough. This is so complete. This is 21st century wealth formula. It's so complete. You've got skills. Now, let's break down the formula. Your skills refer to your expertise, your talent, your knowledge base. Every one of you has a skill. You have a knowledge base. And then the amazing thing is that no skill is insignificant. When you go online and see the things people are making money out of, you marvel. People are making money off teaching other people how to make soap in their homes. I just showed you people making money, but teaching people how to cook. And then if you're a woman listening to this, chances are that you can cook something, you can cook a meal. I have seen people online making money selling recipes. They're not even doing the cooking, just recipes. So while the business owner is, the restaurant operator is there bothering about, the rent for the property that they are staying, bothering about paying his 1,000 staff, bothering about all these things are great. The person using the skills to cash formula is just somewhere in their house, and some of them are in the UK, and they're teaching people how to make African food. I'm making a hell of skills. So that's skills. Value proposition refers to the unique benefits or solutions that your skill offers to others. So one way to look at it is that, what problem does my skill solve for other people? And then you have to define that specific audience that you're creating value for. That's the secret. You don't really want to face everybody. There are people making money just defining very tiny niches and very specific niches. It could be mothers who had a baby in the past 2 weeks or in the past 3 months who are looking to flatten their tummy. It's a pain. It might not be a pain to you, but it's a pain to a certain niche. And so you have a product, a service, or even a video that shows exercises that women who just had baby in the past 3 to 6 months can apply. My oh my. So that is value proposition. Market demand. Because there must be a demand before there is cash flow. You might have such a fantastic solution, fantastic value proposition, but if it is not a proposition, if the market does not want it, you're not going to make money. This cash flow is coming from nowhere. And then most of you are struggling in your businesses or in the skills and expertise you've developed over time because there is no demand for it. So the market demand is the need or desire for what you provide. How would you rate the demand, the intensity of the demand for what you provide? Look at all the big billionaires you have in the world, the Microsoft billionaire. Literally every house has a Microsoft product. Literally all PCs apart from the Apple use the Microsoft operating system. So you see the demand is huge. So the more you demand, the more the money you make. The more people, you really create something that people can't live without. So that's what you should be asking yourself in that space. What is it that I can create that people can't live without, that they demand every day? So you find people who run retails, selling tissue paper, selling, simple things people use every day. Phones, accessories to phones. People are making billions in that Ikeja, what do they call that place? Computer village, just selling accessories, phone covers, screen covers, and you ignore them. But do you know why they make more money than you who have big title as general manager working in a company? Because there's huge demand for what they have. Okay, the other factor is visibility. How well you promote and make your skills known to people. If people don't know you, how would they transact with you? And that is why the location of your business, if you have a physical store, is also critical. So sometimes you might have high value proposition, your skills are fantastic, but if your location is poor, or you don't even have a website or a social media handle, how will people transact with you? Because the more people get to know you, and that's why you see, sometimes you go online, you find someone who has 500,000 followers, and the person just posts something because that's high visibility. And I think about somebody like that right now. He just posts something, and within 30 minutes, that post has generated like 50,000 comments, has generated 2 million views. Why? Because the person is visible. So there is a correlation between your visibility and poverty and lack. There is a correlation. So it's impossible for you to have visibility, to have skills, to have value proposition, to have market demand. It's impossible to be poor, impossible to lack. So I want you to reduce all these things we are talking about to a formulaic level, so that you can begin to see the factors and the variables that you need to work on. Because many of us spend our lives working on the wrong things, working on the wrong variables, and then we are wondering why we are not getting rich, why we are struggling financially. You've got to slow down. Work on the variables. These are the variables: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skills, value proposition, market demand, visibility. If you are struggling financially, wherever, whether you're a business owner, you're a professional, wherever you are right now and you're struggling, it's got something to do with one of these variables. That 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth variable is consistency. Consistency. So some of you decide, okay, I want to be a content producer. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 1 week, 3 weeks, you get tired because you keep publishing videos and then it's receiving 1 view, 2 views. Meanwhile, you look at other people, they are getting 500,000 views, 2 million views. You get discouraged. But before you could start getting that 2 million thing, there's got to be consistency, action consistency, creating a rhythm, doing the same thing repeatedly. How many of you have heard about the Chinese bamboo tree? Okay, it's all over the place. You probably, the chances that you've heard it are like 9 out of 10. So they plant this Chinese bamboo, and you have to continue to water it. You don't see anything. It doesn't germinate. You don't see anything for 5 years. Then after 5 years, one day it just shoots up and grows to hundreds of feet tall or tens of feet tall. But it took 5 years of consistent nurturing, of watering and all that. So many of us give up too soon. So go to my channel, look for that video on motivation. That will be probably one of the most important things you will ever watch this year. It's a video on how to motivate yourself every single day. Every business owner, every professional need to work on that. So that is a skills to cash formula. So basic, so intuitive, nothing complicated, nothing calculus about it, nothing business school jargon. Plain truth. After this formula you're seeing here, all that remains is your own willingness. It's a choice. Do you want to get rich or not? Do you want to have consistent cash flow or not? It's a choice right now with what I've shown you here. No more excuse. So now, remember that I said that the first thing, actually before I go to the skills to cash index, how to calculate your own, because I told you that the place to begin is always to assess where you stand. So I'm going to tell you how to assess your financial status using this framework. Now, how this formula works basically, it says that the better your skills and the more, that is the first bracket you have in the formula. So the better your skills and the more unique or valuable they are to other people, the higher the potential cash flow. So you need to master these 3 fundamentals. These are the 3 pillars of the skills to cash. These are the 3 pillars. The second pillar is saying that's market demand times visibility. That second pillar is saying that even the most valuable skills need an audience that desires them and knows about them. So market demand and visibility amplify each other. Second pillar. Pillar number 3, action consistency. Regular, deliberate action ensures that the opportunities continues to generate cash and are sustained and are scaled over time. 3 pillars of skills to cash, 3 pillars. So here you have them. So now what I want you to do is to ask yourself, which part of the SC2 or S2C formula do you fall short? That's what you should begin to ask yourself when you look at this formula. So you can see 3 pillars that I just explained to you. So the logical question is, where do you fall short? because that is where you should be taking decisive action. If you are doing anything else apart from what is on this slide, whatever you are doing right now, if you can't locate it on this slide, you need to leave it. You need to leave it and do something else. So the first thing is to know your skills to cash index. So there's an assessment here which you are going to receive today. You're going to receive the worksheet that will allow you calculate your skills to cash index. Very, very powerful index, because it's when you calculate that and then you know it that you'll be in a position to say, all right, how am I going to tweak this index, okay, to raise it? So you have all those 5 variables again that I'm talking about: the skills, value proposition, market demand, visibility, and all that. Then you have a rating, you have a question, a prompt that will allow you to rate yourself in all these 5 dimensions. And then I put some explanation there to guide you. So for instance, for skills, how well developed and relevant are your skills in your chosen field? How well developed, that is to you as a person, and then relevant. How well developed and relevant. So we're talking about considering your level of expertise, experience, and specialization in that. If it is coaching, if it is app development, if it is programming in Java or whatever, whatever it is, if it is in cooking like Hilda, or it is in fashion, in sewing, whatever it is, that passion, that skill, you rate yourself 0 to 10. And of course, you've got to tell yourself the truth, because if you work with false numbers, it's going to affect you. Second dimension, second variable, value proposition. You are asking yourself, how dearly and effectively do you communicate your unique benefits of your skills to other people? Because it's one thing to have the value. It's another thing to be able to have the skills to solve, to talk about it. So you are reflecting on how your skills solve problems and add value to others. So maybe people come to you typically for advice on a particular thing. Oh, what business can I start with 100,000 naira or cedis or whatever currency? And the value of the advice and framework you gave them is so high that they actually apply it and see results. And then sometimes you look at it from the testimonials and then what people are saying about you, okay? So you rate yourself there. Market demand, how strong is the demand for your skills in your target market? You've got to be very, very, So one of my clients designed a program because she's extremely good, when it came to accountability, extremely good, knowledgeable. But we soon discovered, who really demands this thing. And so there are very serious and very strong demand areas, so people talk about the 3 primary industries. There's health, there is wealth, and then there is relationship. There is wealth, there is health, and there's relationship. So these are the primary markets. And within these primary markets and primary domains, there are subdomains of what people can't do without in their health, what people can't do without in their finances, what people can't do without in their, we talked about health, wealth, and in their relationships. So these products sell extremely well. So that's why you find some of these young Nigerian girls, they're into skincare products. And I sat under the teaching of one who makes 30 to 50 million every single month. And then she does Facebook ads for 2 million every single month. So you can imagine the return, and you can imagine. So because she has high demand, women are very interested in what their skin looks like. I'm not sure that the men, bother very much about what their skin look like. So sometimes I go a year without applying a cream to just when I remember. Or maybe I travel in winter and I need to rub something. So when I use some kind of cream on my skin, I tend to sweat a lot and things like that. But the demand is huge. I also have another friend, Bruno. Bruno runs the Bruno place. Bruno makes a kill because he does, he left banking and started working on human women's hair. Well, then he also does barbing for men, just hair. And he makes millions every single day just doing that. Why? Because the market demand is high. Visibility, how visible and accessible are you to your potential clients and customers? So you consider your online presence. Some of you, if we type your name in Google, we can find it. Your networking circles, and then your marketing efforts. And then some of you, you run businesses, you've never advertised, you've never done paid advertising. But go check the big businesses in the world, the Walmart retail stores, and check how much there was a year they made 400 billion that particular year, and they must have spent about 20 billion in advertising. All of them, most of them. Check how much Coca-Cola advertises every day. Everybody knows Coke, but they still advertise. And then you are running your own business. Nobody knows you, and you don't know that there's a lot of secret that paid advertising could make a difference, especially right now where many of the platforms want you to pay to play. So you might have an Instagram handle and it remains on all those 82 subscribers because those guys want you to spend money. Action consistency. How consistently do you take action to create offers, to promote and to deliver your services? So reflect on that. Then rate yourself in each of them 0 to 10. Then what you now do is you sum up all those scores, add up all the ratings, and then divide by 5. So that will give you your skills to cash index. Now, there are 3 outcomes when you finish getting that. So it could be low. You might have a low index, a low skills to cash index. You might have a moderate, or you might have high. So this is what it means. If you score 0 to 3, it means that your index, your skills to cash index is very, very low. And I can tell that you are struggling very, very significantly. You're struggling to pay your bills. You're struggling to meet your obligations. You're struggling to pay rent. I can guess also that you don't have a house of your own, So it means that there's going to be lots of significant opportunities for improvement. If you scored 4 to 6, that's moderate. It means that you are strong in some areas, but you're very weak in some of the variables. And so you know where to strengthen. And then if you score 7 to high, that is high. Okay, so you're actually well positioned right now to monetize effectively. And that's where you want to move yourself to a very high skills to cash potential. Because by the time you do this, when you go online like Hilda and like all these people, when you have very high skills to cash index, all you need to do, just put up something, an offer on Facebook or on LinkedIn, and go and relax, watch your money come in. So let's think about strategies. What actions are you going to take if you're low? So key actions is look at skills development, invest in developing yourself a little bit more. One example could be a business coach like me might invest in a certification program. There was a time when I was coaching, I couldn't coach certain organizations because they required, even though I was doing it very, very well, but they required that certification thing. All right. Otherwise, the certification meant nothing. It really didn't add anything. I continued doing what I was doing after the certification, but the certification just gives you access to certain organizations that formalize things. Their HR want to see your certification. So if your index is low, look at all these areas, okay? And then develop actions, value proposition, identify and articulate the unique benefits that your skills can offer. Market research, conduct market research to understand where your skills are actually needed. And then if your skills are not really in demand at this time, then you consider how to pivot to something that is a high income generating skill. So don't fool yourself. If your skill is not high income generating, it's going to be extremely difficult because that the skill in this formula, in this system, the skills to cash system, that's why it's called skills. Your skills are foundational. Okay. If you have a moderate index, okay, then what you want to do is Enhance visibility. Focus on digital marketing, online presence, personal branding. Start posting regularly somewhere. Chosen platform of your choice, even if it is once a week for a big for no once a week. If it's YouTube, that's fine. But if it is LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, I would actually encourage you to do at least maybe 3 times, 4 times a week, if not once a day. Improve your visibility, improve your value proposition, target market expansion, and then develop a consistent schedule for offering your services. So an example would be like a financial advisor with a moderate index might want to start a blog or a LinkedIn strategy to showcase your expertise and to gradually build a moderate client base. So the key word in this index is to build a larger client base. Now, if your index is 7 to 10, that is high. That's very good. So your key actions will basically focus on scaling up, okay? Because you're getting some things right. So you need to scale up. Focus on scaling your services or your product offerings, okay? Optimize your efficiency, streamline your processes to handle a surge in demand without sacrificing your quality. Leverage brand, build a strong personal brand. We hear of Tesla, but anytime you hear about Tesla, it's not the car that comes to your mind. It's a human being that comes to your mind. Anytime you hear Amazon, it is not those packages that come to your mind. It's a human being that comes to your mind. All right. So build a strong personal brand to drive your skills to cash income vehicle. Then, of course, this is also an opportunity for you to diversify. A successful business consultant, for example, with a high index may create an online course because that gives you distribution. You might write a book that gives you distribution and then offer exclusive workshops to increase income streams. Is this valuable so far? Okay, I hope you're getting that. So now, of course, the next thing would be continuous improvement, right? Ongoing assessment and adjustment. So because anytime you do your skills to cash index assessment, it is a snapshot in time. So meaning you can always do this and then recalibrate as you go on until you begin to see a never-ending stream of cash. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is to show you your worksheet for today and how you are going to use them. So you have this worksheet. Actually, let me blow it up so you can see everything in full screen. So you have this workshop. So I just explained the skills to cash index, self-assessment. So you will complete that in the worksheet and then indicate what your index is. Now, when you find index, you go back to the video, look at the presentation to now let yourself know your action plan worksheet, all right? Your action plan. Because it's one thing, it's not enough to just know your index. You need to start taking action. So this is a worksheet to help you take action in all those 5 pillars. So area of focus, skill development. I'm going to give you an example of how you're going to fill it. The SMART goal you want to do, there are specific actions you want to take, the timeline, and then who will hold you accountable. So this is what it will look like. So this is an illustration. So your area of focus, let's say skill development, for instance. And then your example of a SMART goal might be to improve, if you're a graphic designer, to improve graphic design skills by completing an advanced course. And then the question you should be asking yourself here is, what skill do you need to develop or improve? So when I did this a couple of years ago, that's how I came by a cognitive behavioral therapy as a coach. That's how I came by NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, as a coach. So it's this question, because you need to develop skills. You need to find yourself at top 1 to 5%. Make a note of that. because it's usually the top 1 to 5%, and there may be sometimes top 10% who make all the money. All the other people just, all right. So this will give you examples, all right, and then guide you to complete this worksheet. Then when we meet this evening, we will take your, I encourage you to make every effort to complete it, even if you don't put all the details, but to walk your mindset through this so that when we have the conversation, some of you, I'll be able to take some of you, what you have done, and then give you feedback. Now, in the group, you will see a doc version, a Microsoft Word version, and then you will also see a PDF version of the worksheet. So use whichever is convenient for you. Okay, so this is about today, and this is about the skills to cash system, and I'm going to see you later in the evening. Whatever happens, keep showing up, because you just never know what's coming your way next, and I'll see you soon.